And we're back. Sorry about that. Another cut. I'm just coming back to get this piece of cardboard. Interesting turn of events though. I was putting those White Claw boxes in my car just because the cardboard takes up too much space in the bag. And fancy looking Jeep rolled up. Some youthful kids in it. Some guy yelling down the ravine. Maybe at me, maybe not, who knows. But yeah, and they come down to down here actually where I was originally picking up the trash. And I guess, I don't know, I startled them or something. As soon as I came tumbling back down this hill, they got up and walked and just drove away. I even just moved spots, so, you know, who knows. Oh, I don't think my presence is that intimidating, but yeah, but then speaking of that old guy, we've never talked before. Like pretty sure I said that earlier. And as soon as I was coming out of the thing the first time, which is why I cut away, he handed me some plastic grocery bags, probably about 20 of them. Probably handed me one, about 18 more inside of it, nicely folded. Very nice gesture. He told me that him and his friends cleaned, not this canyon, but another one. And yeah, cool guy. Very coincidental that I mention him and he comes over and wants to chat, so. But yeah, one of the nice, simple pleasures of coming to the canyon. All the interesting people. But yeah, forgive me if I don't leave right off where I started trying to regather my thoughts. Pretty sure I was talking about like Jesus and Socrates. Now that's a topic. But no, yeah, you just look at their stories. Pretty sure, yes, Aristotle came after Socrates, and Socrates could just be walking in the city. You know, rumor has it he didn't write anything down. There was maybe some notes, but fucking Aristotle did all the writing for him. Kind of like, you know, I'm sure there's maybe some Jesus diaries out there, I have no clue, but kind of how the apostles, the disciples, spread Jesus' word after he was gone. That's pretty much what Aristotle was doing. Aristotle, you know, of course, takes his own route, which is good. It's natural. You don't want to just live someone else's life for your life. So it was good. He did different thinking routes, but it's just cool. You look at their story. Socrates being followed around, Jesus being followed around. People notice, people in power especially, notice, oh, these guys are gaining traction. What are they talking about? What the fuck is that? Oh, it's the fire truck. Cool green fire truck that comes up and down. There's at the top of this road, there's a fire station, pretty cool. But yeah, so, you know, it's these guys preaching basically and attracting the masses and stuff, and people in power don't like that because they already have their established beliefs that everyone at the time had to follow, and they ended up getting killed for it, both Socrates and Jesus. And you come to this conflicting in ground where it's okay, yeah, Jesus was crucified, but still both public executions. If I remember correctly, Socrates was publicly executed. I don't remember how. And the most important thing they leave behind, especially with the public execution, it's their death is not only witnesses can recount it. It's not just like, oh, the funeral was sad, but it's like they were there watching it happen, and it allows their message to be that much stronger, especially when it's spoken by disciples, you know, people who watched it happen for real and they know why it was happening, or maybe not why it was happening. And you know, and that's it's another interesting topic right there. I don't think the reason I admire Jesus, the character he was, because he's just a really strong human willing to die for. He's probably on that cross. There's even in the Bible, he's uncertain, talking to God, why have you forsaken me? His doubts are slipping. His stronghold mind is slipping. But he's able to die in that pure mindset. And that's what, you know, they say, like the Roman soldiers watching him as he died had these magical things No, it's hard to say, but I can say, they're probably watching this dude die with such certainty at the end, knowing, at least thinking he's right, or even if he has doubts, his grit is strong enough to hold them back. And they're like, holy shit, did we just kill the Son of God? And it's funny that one of the disciples who turned on him killed himself. Why would he kill himself? Because he probably realized, holy shit, this guy was special. Maybe not spiritually divine like we're taught, but tuned into a piece of life that people can't hold on to as strong as he did. And Socrates the same. They died. Then what happened after their death? People feel that, what they died for. Wow. Wow. That's so great. That's so great. How do I do this? Let's create a religion around him. And guess what? He lives on through our religion. That's how powerful he is. And it could be a beautiful thing at the start, but over time, things are going to happen. In Socrates' case, it was interesting because, how does he live on? Through school. They made a school around him, an education-based faith. It's just interesting. These people with two lives, two similar lives, similar enough, their ends, I guess, maybe not their whole lives, their ends, and the routes they took by the people who supported them, the spiritual religious versus the intellectual school, where it's like, okay, it's cool. But yeah, interesting things like that. I care about them. But see how many views this gets. We'll see how many other people not even care, but are willing to. There's that piss bottle not picking up. But yeah, so it comes to that thing. Socrates and Jesus. Neither of them were certain, but they didn't need to be to have the confidence. Not even confidence, just to have the passion, the willingness to die for this cause. And you'd wish that there's an afterlife for them where they can celebrate that. And I'm sure, obviously they do, and maybe they believed, one of them, Jesus, maybe, believed there was to a certain degree. And there definitely could be, but it depends on how you look at it. You think pearly gates. It's funny, TikTok, an app I did. If there's anything that shows those 2010 kids in a nutshell, it's TikTok. The kids who've only grown up with technology, only had a device in their hand. TikTok is that, just growing up. They had nowhere else to go but TikTok, and it's just crazy. But on TikTok, every now and then you do find, I'll admit it, my friend will show me a TikTok that's pretty funny, I have to say, but I'm not going to download the app and start looking for other ones. If I see a funny TikTok a week, I'll call that a success. I don't need to dive any further. But there's this one going around called Biblically Accurate Angels, and it was these pictures of angels, and it's just supposed to be this funny thing, like, oh, heaven's comforting, but no, because this is a biblically accurate angel. And I just loved seeing that on there because it brings up such a topic. No one really thinks to look at these interesting color shades here. But yeah, no one. Why are those biblically? Why are the angels you think about have halos, golden robes, and harps and shit? People don't. You can't blame people for not thinking about these things, and it's easy to say someone doesn't want them. Oh, big brother. No, it's what gets lost, whether it's intentional or not. But it's cool to see it pop back up because, yeah, an angel's not going to look like that. That's a child book angel, but it gets so easily dragged into Christmas, and it's great. I love seeing the innocence of it, and I think it should be there, and it should be that way. But it shouldn't be when another side, like the biblically accurate angels, come up, which is just crazy shit. If you guys haven't seen it, just Google it, biblically accurate angels, and they almost look more like demons, some of them. And it's just funny that it could simply be that. That's why they're not out there, just their appearance. But I think it's more so what they mean. It's easy. I've heard the rumors. I've acknowledged them. I still haven't eliminated them. But that religion in itself could be a hippie, so it's all a trip. But no, it could just be people who, now in society we know what drugs are, and they knew what drugs were back then. But they didn't know what every substance was. You can't blame a peasant man for thinking this random plant hallucinogen is a God experience, because, who's to say it's not? But, and it makes sense. That's faith is built around these, and it's easy to disagree, especially someone who is religious. So you're crazy. because this argument's worth more. Christopher Hitchens made a good point. You can't argue with religious people because there's something more at stake for them than the point in the argument. They can't back down because they have a whole religion that they're defacing, or the whole belief. And I try whenever I get into these debunkles with them, I try and just not even disagree, just show them how our thinking is close, but they just have these doors that they'll always keep closed because they think it's forbidden to open them. But it is a real interesting thing. You look at these biblically accurate angels, fuck, like no one's gonna think to draw that. It's easy, maybe. And this belief that, oh, it just came to them, that this is the angel. It actually came because it was an angel vision. Why would it present itself like that? I can see, it makes sense, but they are scary. They are, and fuck, who knows? Maybe walking home, one will present itself to me, and it'll be an abomination. But I just find it's almost more like artwork. And the people even said in the Bible, the angels appear differently every time. So how do you know what it is? They claim, oh, it's telling them. Okay, yeah, this crazy being tells you its name, but no. I think it almost makes more sense. Like if it's not drugs necessarily, maybe just natural hallucinations or even dreams, where it's not even like during the dream. They're there aware, thinking, oh, this is a interaction. But it's after the fact when they wake up, they're sitting there, what the fuck happened? What the fuck was that? And then they put it together. Oh, maybe it was that. And then the next dream it happens, it's a bit different. It looks a bit different. Oh no, maybe it was that again though, because it said the same thing. And they just kind of give meaning to these things they're having. They build a religion around it, and even things like Noah's Ark, just these miraculous life stories. I don't think those are hard. Like I've heard psilocybin trips where they play out like stories. I've never experienced something like that where I'm suddenly like in some fantasy land. But like I know The Hobbit and books inspired by fungal life, where it's just it does take on this like, oh, it almost tells you a story. I do find that interesting because I could see it then if like if these experiences people are having in modern times with them are true. It could have easily been some guy had this great hallucination about Noah's Ark, this great life message, this great meaning, because the trips are known to do that, produce these almost metaphorical takeaways you can have. But then again, I could easily see it being dreams. Some of them I do think happened. It's hard to pick because they all got grouped together. Like Adam and Eve, that's a great metaphorical story for life. That's not really how life started. And the fact people hold to that, it only makes sense that some of them do, and you can't blame them for it. But no, yeah, it's really interesting when you start trying to relate the Bible back to reality, and these biblically accurate angels were just something so cool to see, because one of them's a wheel. It's a wheel, a carriage wheel, with eyes all around the wheel and wings. You tell me on what... It's just weird, but it's cool that that's out there. But why isn't that... Well, it is in the Bible, and the descriptions are sometimes pages long. And the cool thing, I'm always have a bias because I have a psychedelic background. But the descriptions are explaining it moving in the moment. Like the guy was, if anyone has seen a pattern simulation, the visuals are always moving. Like you can't just look at one thing before it becomes another thing. And that's what these things were the writings that these people were doing were trying to describe. Like one of them, he was seeing wheels, bunch of wheels though, with hands outside of each wheel, and the hands would connect, but it was spinning. And the hands would interlock, let go, interlock, let go. And then the wings on each wheel would fucking... Oh. Again, it's descriptions you have to pull up. I can't even summarize it in my sentences. But it was movements he was trying to acknowledge, write down. There's just a lot of interesting questions that come with religion. And it's sad we're living in a time where religion in its entirety is almost being deemed as something that needs fixing, which it does, to a degree. And there are problems with a lot of religions. But it's just sad that the everyday churchgoers, there's not a more innocent crowd than the, maybe even your own mom and dads, grandmas, the people who just depend on it for their faith, for their people. They just want to have a good social time, talk about anything and whatever church people talk about, a brunch they want to go to, and it's just it could be a very good community oriented thing.